Aisapadika Shri Shri Guru Gaur Chandraju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhanju Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Pari Prajakacharya Astu Terasata Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Pari Prajakacharya Astu Terasata Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Shri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Morning Class. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Chita Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidangscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Hari Om. Is that coming in the kitchen?
Yes.
Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. We're continuing to read now we've come to the 5th chapter of the Adi Lila, but I want to review the first 6 verses of the first chapter. Just one second. Haribol. We've just finished the confidential reasons for the Lord's appearance. And let me see now, I'm just coming here. Oh, yeah. Haribol. Here we go. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to read the first 6 verses, that beginning on page 23 of this book, that are of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which are extremely significant. And let me see now. So here, Srila, the last. Second last verse of the 4th chapter is, thus the auspicious invocation, the essential nature of truth of Lord Chaitanya, and the need for his appearance have been set forth in 6 verses. And then all the way through the 4th chapter are explanations of these 6 verses. Okay, text number 1. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord, and the Lord's incarnations, his plenary portions, his energies, and the primeval Lord himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoditao Gododaye Pushpavantao Chitro Sandao Tamonudao I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and the moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gauda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benediction upon all. Jad Advaitam Brahmo Panisadi Tad Apyasyatanuba Na Atmantar Yami Purusha Itiso Shyang Shavi Bhava Sad Aishvaryai Purno Ya Iha Bhagavan Sa Swayam Mayam Na Chaitanyat Krishnaj Jagati Paratatsvam Paramiha. What the Upanishads describe as the impersonal Brahman is but the effulgence of his body, and the Lord, known as the Supersoul, is but his localized plenary portion. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, full with 6 opulences. He is the absolute truth, and no other truth is greater than or equal to him. And then text number 4. Anarpita charim chira karunaya patirna kalau samapaitum unato jalarasam svabhakti shriyam haripurata sundara juti kadamba sandipita Sadahridaya Kandares Puratu Vahashachinandanaha. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Shachi Devi, be transcendentally situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy, to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. And verse number 5. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now these 2 transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. And now text number 6. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanayaiva Svadyo Jainad Bhuta Maridurima Kidrisho Vamadiya Sokyam Chasya Madanubhavata Kidrisham Veti Lobat Tadbhavadya Samajani Shachigarba Sin Dauharindu. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Shachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean.
Excuse me.
Quite astonishing.
Is that chapter 1?
I only read it. I wanted to review, because all the way to through chapter 4 are all explanations of these first 6 verses. And of course now we've come to chapter 5, which is also included in the first verse, is the glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram. So again, the first verse is, the second verse, sorry. Yes, the second verse. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and the moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Goda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benediction upon all. So now, we've come to chapter 5. So wonderful, the glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram. This chapter is really lovely. Of course, everything is astonishing in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hari Bom. Jai Srila Gurudev, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai. This chapter is chiefly devoted to describing the essential nature and glories of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Lord Sri Krishna is the absolute personality of Godhead, and his first expansion in a form for pastimes is Sri Balaram. Beyond the limitation of this material world is the spiritual sky, Paravyom, which has many spiritual planets, the supreme of which is called Krishna Loka. Krishna Loka, the abode of Krishna, has 3 divisions, which are known as Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokula. So in all of these 3 places, the Lord is manifest in his two-armed form. And he's known as Krishna. Whereas beyond that is Rama, and then, of course, the Lord of Vaikuntha, Narayan. In that abode, the personality of Godhead expands himself into 4 plenary portions: Krishna, Balaram, Pradyumna, the transcendental Cupid, and Aniruddha. They are known as the original quadruple forms. They are found in what is known as Krishna Loka. In Krishna Loka is a transcendental place known as Svetadweep, or Vrindavan. Below Krishna Loka in the spiritual sky are the Vaikuntha planets. On each Vaikuntha planet, a 4-handed Narayan, expanded from the first quadruple manifestation, is present. The personality of Godhead known as Sri Balaram in Krishna Loka is the original Shankarshan, or the attracting deity. And from this Shankarshan expands another Shankarshan called Mahashankarshan, who resides in one of the Vaikuntha planets. By his internal potency, Mahashankarshan maintains the transcendental existence of all the planets in the spiritual sky, where all the living beings are eternally liberated souls. The influence of the material energy is conspicuous there by its absence. So that's an expression. Have you heard that before? Something is conspicuous by its absence.
What does that mean?
It means the fact that it's not there really stands out. So, like if you came into the temple room and suddenly this bookshelf were missing.
Or Mahaprabhu is missing.
Oh no, I was afraid to say that. It would be conspicuous by its absence. The fact that it's not there is going to really stick out. So the modes of material nature are conspicuous by their absence in Vaikuntha.
It's a nice expression.
It is. It's a very nice expression.
It's there by its absence.
Yeah. The influence of the material energy is conspicuous there by its absence. On those planets, the second quadruple manifestation is present. So the first Shankarshan, the original Shankarshan, is Lord Balaram in Krishna Loka, and then there's Krishna, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Shankarshan. And then they expand again in the Vaikuntha planets. Well, I needed this review, actually, very much. We have to keep reading these books over and over again, because we have something we understand, or we've have some conception of, but that conception is going to be modified a little the next time. So it's very exciting. Outside of the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal manifestation of Krishna, which is known as Brahmaloka. And this is different from, of course, Brahmaloka in the universe where Lord Brahma lives. On the other side of Brahmaloka is the spiritual Karana Samudra, or the causal ocean. The material energy exists on the other side of the causal ocean without touching it. Okay? So we've got Krishna Loka and those expansions in Vaikuntha, and then lower than Vaikuntha is the impersonal Brahman effulgence, and then beyond that is the causal ocean where Mahavishnu lies down and he's breathing so many universes and then entering into each one of those universes. The material energy exists on the other side of the causal ocean, not touching it. So the causal ocean is not a material thing. In the causal ocean is Mahavishnu, the original Purusha expansion from Shankarshan. Mahavishnu places his glance over the material energy, and by a reflection of his transcendental body, he amalgamates himself within the material elements. As the source of the material elements, the material energy is known as pradhana. And as the source of the manifestations of the material energy, it is known as Maya. But material nature is inert in that she has no independent power to do anything. She cannot move herself. The material nature has no... everything is moved by the will of the Lord. She is empowered to make the cosmic manifestation by the glance of Mahavishnu. Therefore, the material energy is not the original cause of the material manifestation. Rather, the transcendental glance of Mahavishnu over the material nature produces that cosmic manifestation. Very lovely. Mahavishnu again enters every universe as the reservoir of all living entities, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. From Garbhodakshaya Vishnu expands Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, the super soul of every living entity. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu has his own Vaikuntha planet in every universe, where he lives as the super soul or supreme controller of the universe. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu reclines in the midst of the watery portion of the universe and generates the first living creature of the universe, Brahma. The imaginary universal form is a partial manifestation of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So, we're going to have a test on this. Just kidding. But can you?
Sure, let's do it.
No. Oh, really?
Yeah. I would like to.
Okay. Well, I'll finish reading this introduction. I was actually being facetious. But, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's actually quite straight. It's just that
I'm following the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, that's clever. All right. Okay, on the Vaikuntha planet in every universe is an ocean of milk. And within that ocean is an island called Svetadweep, where Lord Vishnu lives. Therefore, this chapter describes two Svetadweeps. One in the abode of Krishna, and the other in the ocean of milk in every universe. The Svetadweep in the abode of Krishna is identical with Vrindavan Dham, which is the place where Krishna appears himself to display his loving pastimes. In the Svetadweep within every universe is a Shesha form of Godhead, who sees Vishnu by assuming the form of his umbrella, his slippers, couch, pillows, garments, residence, sacred thread, throne, and so on. So, Shesha is all these are expansions of Lord Balaram. And who's Nityananda Prabhu? He's Lord Balaram. Fully. And even more, because he has this mood of distribution, mercy toward the fallen souls. So this is Lord Balaram, and this is Lord Nityananda. All of this, all of what we're describing, almost, is an expansion of Lord Balaram. All the forms of Vishnu, all the Vaikuntha planets, all of it. Lord Maladev in Krishna Loka is Nityananda Prabhu. Therefore, Nityananda Prabhu is the original Shankarshan and Mahashankarshan, and his expansions as the Purushas in the universes are plenary expansions of Nityananda Prabhu. In this chapter, the author has described the history of his leaving home for a personal pilgrimage to Vrindavan and is achieving all success there. In this description, it is revealed that the author's original paternal home and birthplace were in the district of Katwa. That means Krishnadas Kaviraj, in the village of Jamatpur, which is near Naihati. Krishnadas Kaviraj's brother invited Sri Minaketana Ramdas, a great devotee of Lord Nityananda, to his home. So Krishnadas Kaviraj's brother, invited Sri Minaketana Ramdas, who is a great devotee of Nityananda Prabhu, to his house, but a priest named Gunarnava Mishra did not receive him well. And Krishnadas Kaviraj's Goswami's brother, not recognizing the glories of Lord Nityananda, also took sides with the priest. Therefore, Ramdas became sorry. Sorry means he became sad. He broke his flute and went away. This was a great disaster for the brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. But on that very night, Lord Nityananda Prabhu himself graced Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in a dream and ordered him to leave on the next day for Vrindavan. So this is a very important history for us who are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita and worshiping the outpouring that came from the heart of Krishnadas Kaviraj. Okay. Oh. All right. I'll just ask a few questions, even though really I was being facetious, but yeah, we can ask a few questions. So there are two Svetadweeps. So in Brahma Samhita, the verse number 29, so Bhaje Sweda Dvipam Tamahamiha Golokamitiyam. And verse 29 is a full description of Vrindavan, meaning Goloka. But then he's saying, Bhaje Sweda Dvipam, I worship that Svetadweep. And I thought, what? Because I knew of Svetadweep as being the island in the ocean of milk. I believe it's the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam, there are descriptions of many, 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 many oceans. kinds of oceans. There's an ocean of liquor. There's an ocean, there's some really disgusting oceans. There's oceans of clear water, oceans of salt water. There are so many oceans in the universe. But this is the ocean of pure milk, the transcendental place where Lord Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who is with you right now, observing you, never leaving you, the maintainer of all living beings in the universe, where he is lying. There's an ocean, and there's an island, a divine, wondrous island in that ocean called, and that island is called Svetadvip. So that was, in my mind, I always thought of Svetadvip that way. But there are two Svetadvips. One is called Goloka, or Brajadam, where Krishna resides with the inhabitants of Vrindavan, the highest plane. And then the other is where Kshirodakshai Vishnu resides. So, what is the ocean upon which Mahavishnu lies? What is the name of that ocean? Do you remember?
The causal.
The causal ocean. And then he expands himself into each universe, and he's lying on an ocean in the bottom of each universe as that expansion. Do you remember the name of that expansion? Who's lying there?
Who's lying there?
And the name of that ocean is the same.
Garbhodakshaya.
Very good. My goodness. You've been listening. So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and he's lying on the Garbhodak ocean. And then from his navel, you can't conceive of the size of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. In his navel is almost like an ocean, but it's called a lake. When the waters of devastation fill the universe, almost fill, not completely. This is even given in the Bible. All these things are referred to very, with no detail, in other scriptures. The scriptures that came later in the Kali Yuga, very small, not much information. But when those waters reside, the navel is like a lake, and from that lake is the lotus flower, and that is the abode of?
Brahma.
Yeah, Brahma. And so, anyway, so that's very lovely. Good for you.
Jaya.
Excellent. Excellent. Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki Jai.
Jaya.
Srila Om Vishnupade Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki
Jaya.
Jai. Wow. Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Upadesamrita ki Jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki Jai.
Jaya.
And now we're reading this discourse at Sri Radha Kunda. So on page 339, there are three designations for devotees. So this is the middle paragraph. We read that yesterday, but we'll read it again. So, of course, this was originally in Bengali. This discourse would have been in Bengali, and it is translated here. There are three designations for devotees. The beginner, or... Are you on that page now?
Oh,
I'll just wait for you.
thank you. What page are we at?
339. You can take one of those bookmarks, Prabhu, if you want, that are on that shelf.
Oh, we have a bookmark.
Oh, yes, of course we do. Yeah.
339, right? All right, I'm here.
Jai. There are three designations for devotees: the beginner, Kanishta, intermediate, Madhyam, and advanced, Uttam. So what verse in Upadesamrita would we refer to about these three?
Krishneti Jasagiritam Manasadi.
Very good. Krishneti yasya giritam manasaduyeta dikshasti chet pranati bisha bhajantam isham. Bhajantam isham. He's worshipping the Lord. Shushaya bhajana vigyam ananya nindadi sunya hridam ipshita sangalabja. And the advanced, uttam. In bhajan also, there are three principles. Love for the Lord, friendship with those who surrender to Him, and mercy for the unknowing. Ignoring the inimical is also indirect mercy and avoidance of bad association.
What does that mean? Enemy.
Well, as far as I can tell, ignoring the inimical. So in other words, we don't want to associate with those who are inimical to the Lord. And so that's a kind of indirect mercy to them. Because we don't want to increase. Because if you try to, I can just give an example from other things, of course, and experiences also, that if we try to argue or try to preach to the unfaithful, it's actually an offense. And it will bring out some more inimical behavior. So, in a way, he's saying, ignoring the inimical is also a kind of mercy. I don't want to give you an opportunity to do something terrible. And also, it's not good for us. It's a terrible thing. Ignoring the inimical is also indirect mercy and avoidance of bad association. I think that should be okay. Sorry, because please excuse me, because we did a lot of. So my mind immediately goes into sort of editing mode a little bit, because that should have been. Ignoring the inimical is both indirect mercy and avoidance of bad association. Offer obeisance to the inimical from a distance. So that we read that yesterday, so I don't know. Worship of Hari is the fundamental principle. Austerities, rites, and so on are not. Aradito jari haris tapasad tata kim, naradito jari haris tapasad tata kim, anta bahir jari haris tapasad tata kim, nanta bahir jari haris tapasad tata kim. If Hari is worshipped, what is the use of austerities? And if Hari is not worshipped, then what is the use of austerities? If Hari is worshipped, then your whatever austerities you would have done are already being fulfilled. And if you don't worship Hari, then there's no use of them anyway. If Hari is within and without, what is the use of austerities? And if Hari is not within and without, then what is the use of austerities? This is very sweet verse, huh? If Hari is not within, if he is within you, and all everywhere, if you can realize that, then what will austerities help with, if you have that realization? And if he's not within and without, then what is the use of anything? It's like nothing has any value whatsoever. Previously, the conception in the Sri Sampradaya was mixed with yoga, but Goshti Purnapad curbed this. So you know the Sri Sampradaya?
No.
So there are 4 Sampradayas. They are Vaishnava Sampradayas.
All of them, they're Vaishnava Sampradayas?
Yeah, there are 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas. One is called the Sri Sampradaya, and Lakshmi, it's coming from Lakshmi Devi. Ramanujacharya appeared in the Sri Sampradaya. So previously, the conception in the Sri Sampradaya was mixed with yoga, meaning other kinds of performances, breath control, and all of these other things that are mentioned in the Gita. But this Goshti Purnapad, he modified that. He changed that. These are the characteristics of a great devotee, Mahabhagavat. Sarvabhuteshi apashyed bhagavat bhavamatmanaha bhutani bhagavatyatman yesha bhagavatottamaha. From the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam. Those who see the presence of Bhagavan within all beings and the presence of all beings within Bhagavan are advanced devotees. Shabe Krishna bhajana kare e matra jane. They know only that everyone serves Krishna. As Krishna says in the Gita, everyone follows my path in all respects. They may not know they're serving Krishna. They may not be Krishna conscious. They may be all other kind of conscious. But nothing can happen outside of what is going to be a manifestation of his will. For an example, I mean, this is a little difficult to understand, right? Because you say, oh no, this person is not following Krishna's will. He just robbed a bank and he just shot some, or whatever. Like, what? But actually, all these things are within the plane of karma. And karma is 100% the energy of the Lord. Nothing is happening outside of him. There is no outside of Krishna. That doesn't exist. It's a figment of imagination, which is also within the three modes of material nature. So he is the absolute reality. There isn't anything outside of him. But how we want to take part is another matter. Isn't that amazing? So, those who see the presence of Bhagavan within all beings and the presence of all beings within Bhagavan are advanced devotees. Everyone is a devotee, but everyone is a devotee, but I have never had any bhakti, Sriman Mahaprabhu says. Everyone is a devotee but me. I've never had any bhakti. That is another level. Na prema gandosti darapi me harao krandami sobhagya barang pakasitum vangshi bilasyanana lokanang va bibarmi yat prana patanga gadkanvita. I do not even have a trace of prema for Hari. Still I cry to show that I have great fortune. Without a glimpse of the face of that flute player, I carry on my meaningless, insect-like life. Hari Bol. Okay. So Mahaprabhu is saying everyone is a devotee. So this is given to us as the point of view of a Uttama Adhikari devotee. He doesn't see anything outside of the Lord. So he sees that everyone is somehow or other participating in the absolute. They have a place of participation. But the Uttama Adhikari feels that he is the one that is not participating. Anyway, Bhagavan is present as the super soul within everyone. Horses, donkeys, outcasts, great devotees offer obeisances to everyone because they're seeing the Lord within. The qualities of beginners, intermediates, and the advanced have been examined in both the Bhagavat and the Pancharatra. Followers of the Pancharatra have taste for the process of worship, archan, and the followers of the Bhagavat engage in glorification, kirtan. Srila Jiva Goswami in his Bhakti Sandarbha has said, Tata prema taratam yenaiva bhakta mahatva taratam yam mukyam yerlingaya sa bhagavata priyo yadisha uttama madhyamada tadi beda vivikto bhavati tanlingani tatraivarchana marge trividatvam labhyate pad motarakandat mahatvam tu archana marga prananang madhya eva gyeyam. So when we're reading here that we offer obeisances to the non-devotees from a distance, we're offering obeisances to, this will be this is the vision. Nindadi shunya. He doesn't have any envy for anyone. He is not expecting anything from anyone. He is simply seeing, this is the manifestation of the will of the Lord. Everyone has the Lord in their heart, and from a distance, I am offering obeisances to that Lord. And that is really the vision of an Uttama Adhikari. We've heard this so many times explained, that they're not seeing, they are not in Maya. They don't see any non-Krishna. This is a very good thing to remember. And it's not to be imitated, like misunderstood, that, he's a devotee and he's a devotee, in the sense that we accept the behavior. This is to be done from a distance. Offering obeisances from a distance, and if they're innocent, of course, we are trying in our small way to connect them with the holy lotus feet of Gurudev. So this is Sambandha Gyan too. This is what is our relationship with everything and everyone. The gradation and advancement among devotees is ascertained by the gradation in their prema. The signs by which the advanced, the intermediate, and the beginner are distinguished as being relatively dear to Bhagavan are the characteristics for establishing that gradation among the devotees. In the system of worship given in the Pancharatra, 3 stages are found. The advancement among Vaishnavas mentioned in the Uttarakanda of the Padma Purana should be understood to apply to followers of the system of worship given in the Pancharatra. So you follow what the Pancharatra is. It is the system of gradual progress for the Vaishnavas, especially in relation to puja. Tatra mahatvam tatapi pancha sanskari nivedya karma karakaha arta panchaka vid vipro maha bhagavata smrita. The characteristics of an advanced devotee according to this system. A Brahmin is, according to this system, a Brahmin who has undergone the 5 sanskars, engages in the 9 forms of worship, and understands the 5 branches of knowledge, is known as an advanced devotee. A Brahmin who has undergone the 5 sanskars, engages in the 9 forms of worship, and understands the 5 branches of knowledge, is known as an advanced devotee. Madhyamatvam tatang pundarang tata nama mantro yagascha panchamaha amihi pancha sanskara paramaikanti hetavaha. The characteristics of an intermediate devotee according to the system of worship given in the Pancharatra. So this is a system of the Pancharatra. And these are the definitions given according to that system. Okay? The characteristics of an intermediate devotee according to the system of worship given in the Pancharatra are performing austerities, wearing tilak, chanting the name, chanting one's mantra, and offering worship are the 5 sanskars. They, as practiced by intermediates, are the cause of earnest and intense bhakti. And then kanishtatvam. Shankha, Chakra, Durva, Pundra, Dharanadyatma Lakshanam, Tadnamaskaranang Chaiva Vaishnavatvam Ihochate. The characteristics of the beginner devotee, according to the system of worship given in the Pancharatra, are those who mark themselves with the conch shell, disc, and other signs of Bhagavan, wear vertical line tilak, and offer obeisance to other Vaishnavas who wear such marks, are said to be beginners. So that doesn't mean that the intermediate devotees do not do those things, but someone who has come to that platform and not beyond it, he is called a beginner. Bhagavata mate manasa lingema bhagavatang lakshayati. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, an advanced devotee is characteristic by a particular state of mind, not so much. So here, we'll just read this now. So there, in other words, what is being said here is that the beginner, the intermediate devotee, and the advanced devotee are given different definitions according to different systems within Vaishnavism. Okay, so that's clear, right? Pretty clear? Sarvabhuteshi apashyed bhagavad bhavamatmanaha bhutane bhagavatyatman yesha bhagavatotama. Those who see the presence of Bhagavan within all beings and the presence of all beings within Bhagavan are advanced devotees. Atamanasa linga visheshananaiva madhyama bhagavatang lakshayati. Next, an intermediate devotee is characterized by a particular state of mind. Ishvara tada adineshu balisheshu tushatsucha prema maitri kripopeksha yakaroti samajyamaha. Those who love the Lord, befriend the devotees, are merciful to the innocent, and ignore the inimical are intermediate devotees. Atta Bhagavad Dharma Charana Rupena Kaikena Kinchin Manasena Chalingena Kanishtam Lakshayati. Next, a beginner devotee is characterized by the marks on the body that represent engagement in the service to Bhagavan, and to a certain extent by a particular state of mind. Acharjameva haraye. In other words, it's more external. There is a certain state of mind, of course, that is inclining him to do these things, to put on the tilak marks, and engage in service. But there may not be so much of a conception. Acharjameva haraye pujang yachadaye hate natad bhakteshu chanyeshu sabhakta prakrita smritaha. Those who faithfully worship the deity of Hari, but not his devotees or other souls, are beginner devotees. Prabhate cha daratre cha majjane divashakshaye kirtayanti haring jevai nate shamanya sadhanam. Those who chant the name of Hari in the morning, at noon, and in the evening, and at midnight need no other sadhana. Jaina janma satai purvam vasudeva samarchita tanmuke harinamani sadatishtanti bharata. O descendant of Bharat, the names of Hari always remain in the mouth of those who previously worshipped Vasudeva for 100 births. Okay, so we can stop here. Oh no, it's 5 more minutes. We should chant the name of Hari 24 hours a day, every day. Those who are qualified to engage in bhajan at all times always think, everyone is engaged in Hari bhajan. Only I have not performed any Hari bhajan. They have no conception that some are good and some are bad. These are the Uttamadhikaris. If beginners, intermediates, or persons with selfish desires, however, imitate advanced devotees and think, I will not conceive of good and bad, good association and bad association are the same, then they will fall into bad association and will not be able to enter even the proximity of the land of bhajan. It's very important. So we are not to imitate this, say, oh, everyone is a devotee of the Lord. We can appreciate that everyone is following the Lord's path in all respect, on some level or another. The Lord's will is always there, manifesting as the law of karma, and so many things, mass karma, individual karma, these are on the low levels, and in so many ways, thinking we can understand that point, and we can see something. But the Uttama Shloka, Uttama Adhikari, he is really seeing the Lord everywhere. He doesn't, his consciousness, we are hearing, does not distinguish between bad and good. So the Uttamadhikari Vaishnava, he can come down to preach, but he is taking the role of a Madhyama Adhikari in order to bring up the fallen souls, saying this is bad and this is good. Because we, as beginners, we need to distinguish like that. Our vision is not, we don't know how to move in that divine vision. We'll be stumbling and making all kinds of mistakes. So we must distinguish good association from bad association. And we are following the process of what is good for example, for the service of the deity, what is unfavorable, so many things we're following in order to give ourselves some, in order to follow that system, and going beyond that system is the goal of that system. In other words, the Uttamadhikari Vaishnava is not, he doesn't see that way, and he doesn't have to follow any system. But he's teaching that and showing by his example. But finally, one has to come out of that system. That is, when you go to university, you're learning many things, but the goal of a university student is to get out of there. He has to graduate. So both of these things are kept in mind, but we must follow the duty of our own position. And in general, we're following a very good system, a very beautiful system of Vaishnava life. So that's all these things are super beautifully given here by Srila Saraswati Thakur. Any question about anything?
So service to devotees is higher than service to Bhagavan?
In one sense, yeah. The devotees means, for example, it's given in, one example is given in the Upadesamrita Sindhu, I think. That, even if Lord Narayan himself, I don't know if it is in Upadesamrita Sindhu, can't remember now. But even if Lord Narayan is approaching a devotee engaged in the service of his guru, perfectly engaged, the devotee will offer obeisances to Lord Narayan and say, I cannot go with you, I have service to my guru. And we've been hearing about this very much in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That we are the followers of the service energy. We are followers of this, worshippers of the Supreme Divine Shakti, Hladini Shakti. And those who are representing the servitors of that Shakti, they are our gurus. So Krishna without the devotees is not even real. That's just that would be a figment of someone's imagination. When Srila Prabhupada saw one painting of Krishna standing by himself, he said, no, Krishna's never by himself. Krishna is always surrounded by loving devotees and giving so much love to them. That is Krishna without the servitors. And they are all expansions of Srimati Radharani, as we've been hearing, in one sense, and Nityananda Prabhu. Then we are not, that picture is not complete. It's not true. It's not a true representation of the Lord. Does that kind of answer the question?
Very, very good. Very good.
So Shuddha Bhakatan Charana Renu Bhajana Anukula Bhakata Seva Parama Siddhi. So Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu, you know that song? Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu. The charana means the lotus feet, and Renu means dust. Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajana Anukula. This is like the most wonderful thing. I can't remember the exact translation. But Bhakata Seva, well, service to the devotee is the supreme perfection of life. So of course we're referring to the great devotees, but also those who are serving those great devotees. We are giving these are our friends. We're making friendship with the devotees. We're worshiping the great devotees. Making friends with those who are also worshiping them. And trying to bring others to the connection of their holy lotus feet. And trying to wish well upon all, and not to be in the mood of fear or envy toward the environment. There may be very many inimical persons, we don't want to be around them, but at the same time, we don't need them to be a certain other way either. They can be whatever they are. Hari Shri Guru Gaurachandra Jai, Shri Giraj Govardhanju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai. Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Kol Kartal Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Nittai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol Jai. Jai Gurudev Ki Jai.